It's the Score North Twin Show.
All right, boys, we get to fire it up.
Oh.
We haven't heard it in a long time.
Oh, good.
The burner.
It's chilly.
Oh, the hot stove.
Oh.
Let's go.
Is that hot enough? I don't know.
Oh, that's hot.
I feel like the house
That's
might
hot.
blow. I don't like the clicking right there. I feel like that might be a little faulty. I hope the house doesn't blow up.
Well, we got to move a fridge out to get a better freezer, and to get the freezer to working, we got to shave off the microwave. There's a lot of moving parts in this
Ooh.
kitchen to get, the
like what we're
correct
doing here.
meal. So, yeah, gonna be a little rough.
Anyway.
I did sit down. By the way, Score North Twin Show, hit the like button, subscribe button for Minnesota Twins content. We still pump out content in the offseason, at least weekly here. Stick around for other breaking news, for live episodes and stuff too. 5-star rating, Apple, Spotify, appreciate it. So I sat down, this was probably like 3 weeks ago, I think, when I first made this free agent target list for the Twins to go get. Now, full disclosure, I have found 5 guys that I do think are in the Twins' price range budget, but with the asterisks of you have to clear out the money still of, the Paddocks and the Vasquez, and probably someone else to still just have the opportunity to sign one of these guys, most likely.
Okay.
So there's some asterisks involved. There's a lot of moving parts. I get that. But I'd be remiss if I didn't bring some type of free agent lists and free agent hot stove targets for the Twins to go after this offseason. So there's 5 guys that are on this list here.
Okay, I don't want to spoil your whole list here, but
Yeah.
can we assume that Juan Soto is not on the list?
That is correct. He is not on the list.
Did I see this correctly, that he's in Seattle this week visiting the Mariners? Or did I get tricked by like a fake...
No, he was visiting the Giants, I think. And then I think he I think he met with the Red Sox. He's met with the...
I might have gotten tricked. I think there's just speculation that the Mariners should sign him.
And I did see... Let's see here. I did see... the Mariners are interested in Carlos Santana, so they got that going for him, but not Juan Soto.
Step down from Juan Soto.
Yep.
I think Soto met with the Mets, and I think they tabled it quickly.
Meet the Mets.
I think Steinbrenner flew to L.A. to see him, and so the Yankees are in the mix. And then the Red Sox definitely popped up as well. And supposedly there was a mystery team or two. Like, there were some weird teams that have no business inquiring. So perhaps the Mariners fall into that list.
Well, so so DraftKings did put out some odds, and I have a point to this rambling, but Yankees are the heavy favorites, and then the Mets, the Dodgers, Blue Jays are like 15-1, Cubs are 15-1, Giants 18-1. These are all big markets mostly. Red Sox 18-1, Nationals 25-1. But then the Mariners are on this list at 25-1, and the Padres at 25-1. Padres have had them before. But I guess my question is, if I ever see the Mariners are super aggressive, similar size market. The Padres are a fairly small market where they've just decided as an ownership group, we're going to spend a lot of money and make a bunch of splashes and just tell you, the fans, that we're all in and get you excited. And the fans have repaid it by having 40,000 people average attendance for the last 3 years. So I guess it's always a little triggering to me when I see like Seattle and the Padres are in on these big names, but we couldn't possibly even think about meeting with someone of that stature. Let's not even bother.
People are not going to subscribe to your MLB/Twins TV service unless you act like you care. Like that's the most important. You got to at least act like you care. Like, what is the incentive? What is the incentive right now to say, you know what, I'm going to plop down $20 a month to watch the Twins in 2025?
You know what they should do?
Unless you're diehard.
They should put out a message right now, the Twins. I know they've shuffled a bunch of things. So Derek Falvey, you're in charge of everything now, right? So log into the Twins Twitter account.
The garbage needs to go out, Derek.
Derek, log into the Twins Twitter account and just be the voice of the Twins Twitter account and say, hey, if we get X amount, if we get 40,000 new subscribers for Twins TV, which I don't even know, I don't think it's available and set up yet, but like it's going to be, right? Then we will meet with Juan Soto. It should be like a GoFundMe. If we get 10,000 new subscribers, we will call Juan Soto. If we get 20,000 new subscribers, we will meet on a Zoom call with Juan Soto.
Hold on a second.
50,000, we will.
What if you launched Twins TV right now and streamed the meeting?
The meeting. Dude.
All we do is fix
think
things for
outside
this
the box.
organization.
Welcome
I'm just
in.
saying.
Just bring in a guy. Don't
Juan,
show him.
you're,
Just show him
Juan.
from the back.
Juan, you're muted. You're muted up there.
Juan, unmute your mic. Oh, God.
So anyways, Juan Soto's not going to be on this list that Declan's about to put out.
No, he won't. So 5 guys on this list, 3 position players and 2 pitchers. So let's start with this first one. We've kind of thrown this guy out on some other Score North related podcasts and in passing on the Score North Twins show. Again, not an exciting name here, but Alex Verdugo. So, by the way, I'm getting these contract projections from The Athletic. So The Athletic has given contract projections for these free agents. I'm not coming up with these. Why would I come up with these? I can't do math. I'm actually decent with my money, but I'm not going to pretend to be fooling with other people's money. So Alex Verdugo, left-handed bat, 28 going on 29. He is projected to get a 2-year, $26 million contract. He is a plus fielder. He was plus 8 defensive runs saved in left field. That is a position, by the way, that they have struggled to find consistency at from a defensive side. Rocco has talked numerous times that guys can just try to plug guys in there, and it's actually very difficult. And other players have discussed playing left field there at Target Field. The sight lines and the environment is actually a lot harder than it looks. Verdugo's a very good defensive player. Offensively, not a lot to write home about. He had an 83 OPS plus last season, so well below an average major league hitter. This is essentially a younger Max Kepler who plays really good left field. That's what this is. That's what Alex Verdugo would be.
So, okay, to me, he is a lesser version of Max Kepler, and if you go through even like Kepler had a crazy 2019 Bomba Squad season, just like by far the outlier best season of his career. In the 5 seasons since then, Kepler has been worth 8.5 wins above replacement. He's been a good, solid sort of league average, like 2 wins above replacement is around league average. Verdugo over the last 5 seasons, the same time span, who I think has played more games because he plays like almost every day. He's been worth about 6 wins above replacement. So he is where I would be careful here if I'm the Twins is spending any significant amount of money on players that are fairly replaceable or maybe even below league average. I'd rather save my chunks of money for home run swings. Because I can run out. There's any number of outfielders I can run out there that are going to produce probably a 1.5 or 2 wins above replacement over a full season that aren't going to cost millions of dollars. So I would be in the mode of not spending millions of dollars on players that don't move the needle. So I think I'm out on Alex Verdugo.
I think the most logical way to approach this exercise is this, because Dex is probably exactly right. You're going to have to clear guys out, right? And I'm not saying that those are great players, but I am saying if you're going to clear them out, is the replacement going to be, since it's going to be the very small amount that you have to spend, is it going to be an upgrade? I don't know that he really is. Like defensively, he might be for sure, but offensively, he's not. So yeah, this is one where if I'm looking to make trades and clear out the Paddocks and the Vasquez's possibly, I would like a little bit more return because hopefully I get this right. So yeah. I'm probably good without.
There was a time earlier in his career, I don't know what happened, where he was like kind of an on-base machine, and he hit 300 one year, like make contact and stuff. But
yeah, definitely not an impressive 2024.
Yeah. He does make a lot of contact, which is something that I know the Twins tried to emphasize last year. Is like, let's reduce the strikeouts. He is a very low strikeout hitter as a profile, so that is something.
Yeah, he was the key piece in the Mookie Betts trade from the Dodgers to the Red Sox. And he got MVP votes in the pandemic season. He was still solid for them in 2021. But yeah, this last year, and even I think he even made the last out in the World Series for the Yankees at the plate this season. So that's one name to keep an eye on. Next name, another outfielder here. Let's go. Might be a little out of your price range. I'm not sure, but I've seen national like kind of not national ones, but like blogs link this guy to the Twins. And I'm actually very intrigued by this guy. It's Tyler O'Neill. So Tyler O'Neill was non-tendered by the Cardinals going into last offseason. He had a great year with the Red Sox, and just now he does miss time with injuries, which has been his biggest problem. But in 113 games with the Red Sox last year, he hit 31 home runs. He had an OPS plus about 132. At one point early in his career at the Cardinals, an incredible fielder. Won multiple Gold Gloves. Last season, he kind of regressed to being about an average fielder. But he's a right-handed bat that destroys left-handed pitching, which this team does need. He's 29 going on 30. The Athletic projects a 2-year contract in the $32 million range. If you can get him for that, great. I think he actually might command a little bit more, but his injury history does, I think, limit his market. But this would be a guy I think would be a significant upgrade at the plate and would be a solid player in the field, considering even though he might be regressing defensively.
This one intrigues me at least. So he had a career best 6.1 WAR back in 2021. It was 2.7 with the Red Sox this past year, but he did hit 31 home runs. Now, I'm willing to bet a few of those were in Fenway, which obviously can change things either way for you. But this one intrigues me more. But then again, to what you just said, the price point becomes incredibly important. I would certainly take him at the right price point. I wouldn't get in a bidding war if I was the Twins, because again, you're going to have to clear that space. And then the question is, okay, if your one investment back is a guy like O'Neill, and the injuries do scare me a lot. Like this team has dealt with real problems in that area.
Right-handed bat who can crush left-handed pitching, definitely in on. But he's a part-time player for injury reasons. Also, he is one of the biggest strikeout rate hitters in all of baseball. So he's like twice in his career, he's hit 30 home runs, 2021 and 2024. And last year it was 31 home runs and only 61 runs driven in because he's not making contact a lot. He's a low batting average guy that only really drives in runs when he hits home runs. But there's a place for that on your team, especially if he's a right-handed bat. So I'm listening for the right price. Okay.
Yeah, he does strike out a lot. He does, somewhat walk a little bit above league average, but this was a guy who finished 8th in MVP votes that judges said in 2021. Like, he was one of the best players in baseball, and then he went from being non-tendered 2 years later. So injuries are a problem, but I do think, obviously, of course, the Twins are enticed by a lot of players who can't hit their ceiling because they're injured all the damn time. Yes. But I'd be curious on Tyler O'Neill. But yeah, getting in a bidding war, that would probably be bad news for the Twins.
And you'd lose that.
Yeah. Someone else would pay him more.
You'd bow out quickly.
Yes, you would. One more position player here. This is just a fun idea here for me. So I've mentioned that finding an internal first baseman is going to be, I think, very important for the Twins. They could plug an Eddie Julian there, but I think that's probably if they strike out on someone to add in free agency or via trade. So how about this? What about Anthony Rizzo? 35 going on 36.
Wow.
World Series winner. Offensively, he was not good. In fact, he really hasn't been good the last 2 years with the Yankees. But defensively, still a slightly above average fielder, a World Series clubhouse vet. This is a guy that gets that corner locker. This is a guy that has been there and done that. And I don't know. They don't have a contract projection for him. So I have it as 1 year, $10 million with incentives.
I'm out. Sorry.
You're out.
Dude, he was, all right, the Cubs have been my secondary team my whole life. And watching him be one of the cornerstones of their first World Series team, that was 8 years ago. He is, the last 2 years, he is a disaster offensively. Like, the power has eroded. He's been worth negative value offensively and defensively, according to Fangraphs, the last 2 years. Again, it's other people's money, but $10 million for me is way too steep. Carlos Santana, I'd rather have Carlos Santana back than this version of Rizzo. But if you could get him just to see for a much cheaper price than $10 million, okay. But I almost feel like it's been since 2022 since he was a playable guy on a regular basis. He's hurt, but he's old.
Yeah.
And I love the idea because he is one of my favorite players over the past 15 years. But I think he might be cooked. That's my concern.
Yeah, I think he's just about done. Yeah.
Yeah, he's I
It's
think
a fun
that
idea.
that locker room needs a guy like this, like a guy that's won a World Series, has
Little
played in
swag.
big markets. Yeah, like I think he'd be
Hitting
very
guys on the
beneficial.
ass. Good job.
Couple slaps. He's still got a glove.
That's what baseball's
but
all about, Phil. Don't look at me like that. That's baseball. Batting cage, you hit a guy in the butt. Come on.
I'm all for the ass slaps.
Yeah.
All for the ass slaps.
Judd literally the first
That's a T-shirt.
probably biggest thing he noticed with Brooks Lee was not his play at the plate. It was the fact he has a huge rear end. Judd has literally been on the record
He's got
about
the frame.
that.
He's got the frame and the old school stance. He looks like he's been plopped out of like 1963.
What in 1960? Like his stance, or did guys
Both.
have like bigger
The
trunks
stance,
back in the
stance,
60s?
but he's got that lower trunk thing.
I feel like
can't
guys were
describe
super
trunk.
skinny back in the day and just had baggy uniforms. You know,
It
the
depended.
splendid splinter.
Oh no, catchers
Ed
were
Williams.
fat, bigger, round. Guys were not nearly as good a shape as they are now.
On the roster and like limited resources, I feel like offensively and position players, you really have to bank on Brooks Lee takes a step, Royce Lewis stays healthy. If Carlos Correa is still on the team, that his legs are fine. Emmanuel Rodriguez at some point joins the party. I think it's and Edward Julian, dude,
That's what I
he
was
was
gonna ask.
he was awesome 2 years ago. Hey, go grab a first baseman's glove and become a wizard defensively at first base and get your bat back going. If you get Julian going at first and Brooks Lee at short and Royce Lewis transitions to second, and these are a lot of ifs, obviously, or Brooks Lee at third, I guess, and Carlos Correa at short.
Right.
That could be a really, really good infield offensively and defensively. I almost feel like you have to bank on that and allow room for that to happen before you try to jam like an Anthony Rizzo or somebody else out there for 60 games.
Hey Dex, what's your opinion on Julian bouncing back offensively?
It's possible. He's still young, but it's probably taking a lot of offseason adjustments for him to change that approach. He can no longer have
Right.
the same approach
Right.
for the rest of his career. It worked in the minor leagues. It worked the first year, and now there's a counterpunch, and was probably the easiest out in base on the Twins last season.
Yeah.
He just became incredibly predictable to pitch to, so he has to change that. So, and I do push back. I disagree. I don't like forcing a guy to play a new position that's also very important in first base. I would rather you take an outside resource, bring it in, and make that position better for you. Like I would have, unless he has made adjustments at the plate, and he is looking good at spring training with those fielding adjustments, I have major questions that he can be an everyday first baseman.
What Julian you're talking about?
Yeah,
Everyday first
yep,
baseman?
every Julian.
But
Yep.
first base is I know that like it's professional sports, and so I don't want to say that anything's easy, but it is the easiest position if given time to transition to. Like he comes from middle infield, which is so much more complicated. It requires so much more athletic ability. And I guess if you don't open up first base for him right now, as it stands, assuming Correa is still part of this thing until his contract's over, there's nowhere for him to play unless he's a DH and his bat is in question. I'd like to give him a chance to find an everyday position because there is none. If Royce Lewis is playing second and Brooks Lee can play second, there's nothing.
Yeah, that's true. Except the problem is, and I'm with you, Phil. I agree. 3/4 of the infield technically should be set, but I mean, we know that there are probably at least two of those guys are going to miss big chunks of time. Like I just have no faith here. I don't have faith in the Correa thing, and I don't have faith in Royce. Brooks Lee, okay, I'll have some faith there in his health, but I mean, at least two of those guys, I think are going to miss significant time, probably.
Two pitchers I'll run through here quick for free agent targets. Number one, he just declined a qualifying offer, and he probably might get still a decent payday. Luis Severino from the Mets. So Severino is projected to get a 2-year, $32 million contract this offseason. He did bounce back last year for a healthy year. He pitched in the playoffs. He gets a lot of weak contact. He would level out your starting rotation. I mean, if Severino would be your 4, I mean, my God, like that would be awesome. I still think other teams probably look at him as maybe even paying him like to be a 2 or maybe even like a 1 with considering his upside because he's still 30 years old. This guy probably does get priced out for the Twins. But if he remains on the market a long time and longer than he anticipates, does he sign like another 1-year make good deal to maybe get a bigger payday a year from now?
Does the compensation on the qualifying offer come from you? So, like, if you sign him, do you have to give up your pick?
I believe so.
Okay. So Twins would. I don't think the Twins would then.
So one of the silliest things. I can't stand.
Yeah. Well, and what if you're a free agent until like June, then the qualifying offer compensation goes away or something like that. But yeah, I think this would be too expensive, and I do not see the Twins forfeiting a draft pick.
Boy, I mean, it's been a while now, but at one point he was one of the 6 best starting pitchers in the league before a lot of the injury stuff there in New York.
Yep.
But last year, he's not back to what he was 5 or 6 years ago, but that's the most innings he's thrown by far since 2018. To make 31 starts and to throw 182 innings and to be sort of 70% of what he was a few years ago, he goes from being the leader of your pitching staff potential to coming in. I mean, if you could bring him in as like a number 4 starter, to your guys' point, I'm interested. I don't think you can go in saying, okay, Zebby Matthews is for sure we're going to bank on him, or we're going to bank. I mean, their strategy was hope last year with that starting pitching staff. Louis Varland, okay. You can't go in with hope as a strategy again. If your plan is to, now we could argue that their plan really isn't to win the division.
Their plan is to keep costs down, Phil.
Their plan is to right-size the business and sell it. But yeah, I'm interested.
One more name on the list here, and this guy will be in a bidding war between 2 teams that don't have a lot of money to spend, and I can't wait to see who comes out the winner, because I even almost made her write that down, that he will sign with one of these 2 teams, including the Twins. Matthew Boyd. So Matthew Boyd, former highly regarded Tigers prospect, missed almost all of last season, came back at the end, pitched in the playoffs for the Guards. Does seem like a quintessential AL Central-like pitcher. He's projected to get a 1-year, $10 million contract from The Athletic. I wouldn't be surprised there's some incentives built in there because he is injured a ton. But this guy, man, I mean, this is your classic AL Central vet who has been around the block and everyone has seen him before. He was pretty solid when he came back from injury for Cleveland last year down the stretch and was an important part of them playing in the ALCS, but This guy, I would be shocked if the Twins aren't at least linked to this guy at some point this offseason.
I kind of love this one. So
it's very Twins.
It makes perfect sense.
Count me in on the Matthew Boyd reclamation tour. Count me in on the Luis Severino reclamation tour, and count me in on Tyler O'Neill at the right price. So I'm in on 3 of these 5.
The Boyd one, dude, is you just nailed it. In fact, that is not only quintessential Twins move, but that is a day 1 spring training Star Tribune Pioneer Press athletic story for sure, right? Like Matthew Boyd sat at his locker and contemplated a career that hasn't been what he thought. Quote Boyd, my career hasn't been what I thought,
dude,
but it might be as a Twin.
If you took Matthew Boyd's best season from 2019 before a bunch of injuries and stuff, he was a 3.5 WAR pitcher.
Yeah. And
Luis Severino in 2018 as a 5.5 WAR pitcher at their peak. Again, this is like a half decade ago. We're talking 9 wins above replacement between those 2 guys, which is huge. But that's a long time ago. So
I think ultimately Severino probably gets a really nice payday somewhere.
Yeah, 2 years, maybe like a 3rd-year option or something. Maybe it's a
Boyd,
deal.
Boyd, man. And the best part about it is Boyd then traded by the Twins or outright DFA'd in July.
You think so? I mean, he was
things didn't work out for Matthew Boyd.
I think I think injury a DFA would suggest he's not effective. I think he's more likely to wind up on the 60-day injured list than he is.
Fair enough. We'll split hairs here. You're probably right.
I'm in. Okay, I have a random Twin of the week for
all right.
You 2 gentlemen here.
Let's do it here. I'm excited.
Declan with 2 wins in a row, Donnie Barrels and Joe Mays. Before that, it was Rich Becker, Lance Lynn, Casey Feen, and Logan Morrison. All time in the random Twin of the Week standings, I have 23 wins. Dex can tie for the lead if he wins today. He has 22. Jubb with 18 wins all time in random Twin of the Week. So all throughout a series of clues, you guys get up to 3 incorrect guesses. If one of you hits a 3rd strike, the other one wins automatically so be careful.
How did I miss
No
Joe
Googling.
Mays? I've got my little Joe Mays bobblehead right here. He was sitting here the day that you did that. All I had to do was look up, and I would have seen Joe Mays.
Clue number 1.
Still
It
pissed.
wouldn't shock me if Judd has a bobblehead of this random twin.
Oh, well, that
I'm so
that helps.
Wait, hold on a second
for
here.
Judd.
Hold on, I'm looking all around.
Yeah, Judd has a visual aid. This is a visual aid.
I don't know if he has a bobblehead.
Yeah,
of
he
this
said he doesn't
particular-
know. And you know what,
Doesn't
Declan? Too
shock
bad.
me.
They're my bobbleheads.
This random twin was a second-round draft pick.
Okay.
Well, he was actually a 31st round draft pick, I believe, out of high school, and then went to college, and then became a second-round draft pick after a nice
With
time
the-
in college.
With the Twins.
He was a
Second-round
second-round draft pick by the Twins, yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Let me just verify that for sure, but
Uh-oh. Oh, wow.
yes, by the Twins.
Okay.
His best season in the major leagues, 5.5 wins above replacement, and he batted .300 in that season.
Oh. I almost threw out a yes, but then stopped myself.
Phil's been very sneaky on batting average.
Oh.
I don't trust him anymore.
Oh. Or maybe I'm throwing a fastball down the middle there. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what we went through last time. How did I not get Joe?
Or maybe he throws fastballs. I'm trying to trick you.
Keep
This random twin was once a member of the U.S. Olympic baseball team.
I gotta look at the list.
That takes away 2 guys I've had in mind now.
I gotta look at the list. I'm going on. I'm gonna be doing some work here. Do not think I'm cheating.
You can Control F search the previous
Yes.
random
Yes,
twins.
that's what I'm saying. I'm not cheating. I'm going to the list.
This random twin was on the Baseball Hall of Fame ballot, but didn't receive enough votes for a second year on the ballot.
And he was on the U.S. Olympic team. Okay.
He survived the first ballot. Or yeah, he didn't survive the first ballot.
No, he was on the first ballot, but didn't
Got
receive
it.
enough votes for a second year.
Got it. Okay.
After his career ended, he did spend time coaching with the Fort Wayne Tin Caps, the San Antonio Missions, and the El Paso Chihuahuas.
Boy, that's sort of. Were those? Okay, I have a question off that. Were those the only teams he coached for?
No.
Is it Doug Minkiewicz?
Oh God. Okay, I had Dougie in the can
I mean,
as
he
well.
coached. He played for the Olympic team. He played on the team that won gold, right?
Yeah,
in Australia.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and by the way, I do have multiple Dougie baseball bobbleheads. Get one right here.
This random twin played in 21 career playoff games. There's Doug's bobblehead with the bubble gum.
Got the bubble gum.
Yep.
Played how many playoff games?
21.
21 playoff games. Oh boy.
The Hall of Fame ballot thing continued here for you guys. So he officially received 1 Hall of Fame vote.
Okay.
1 Hall of Fame vote.
Was it the
I don't
same
know
guy
who-
who gave Rocco Baldelli 1 Manager of the Year vote this week?
Yeah, I don't know who voted for this player, but
For Rocco, I think I know who voted for Rocco.
Yeah, it was public knowledge. No, it was a guy in Texas.
Yeah, that
Okay.
guy loves Rocco. Or he did his ballot in like July 1st. 1 vote. Didn't Aaron Seeley, the former pitcher, get 1 vote?
I think so. Yeah.
I think
There's
he showed up on the ballot. It's like, what the hell, Aaron Seeley? Who, by the way, nice pitcher. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
All right.
This random twin was a left-handed hitter.
Hey, got it.
You wouldn't have.
300 average.
I'll say his career average was not 300.
Yeah, that's
No,
correct.
no, no,
wasn't.
no. But in his best year, hit 300 left-handed hitter.
No, he wouldn't. Oh my God. It's the minor league coaching stops are preventing me from throwing out guesses here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
The Fort Wayne Tin Caps are.
Yeah, because the guys that I'm thinking of, there's no shot they coached Fort Wayne and San Antonio and these random teams.
Some guys just love ball, man. They just love being around the game.
Is this guy a left-handed hitter though? I can't look that up. I don't remember this.
All right, this random twin played in both leagues in his career.
Mm-hmm.
He played for, I'll give you the teams. He played for the Cubs, the Marlins, the Twins, and the Tigers.
Oh, that eliminates another guy I might have guessed. Cubs, Marlins.
Did the 5.5 WAR season come with the Twins?
Yes. Yes, it did.
All right.
His best non-Twins season in terms of wins above replacement was 1.2, according to Baseball Reference. And that came with the Cubs.
Oh boy.
Oh, I gotta Google somebody.
Oh boy.
Okay, the two pitchers that this random twin hit the most home runs off of were Jeff Suppan and Bartolo Colon.
Okay, I don't know if this guy hit left-handed. Wait, when did U.S. Olympic when did Olympic baseball start? 2000?
No, it didn't.
Well, Mark McGuire's famous '84. It's for
right,
sure
that's
like
right.
in the '80s, right?
Yeah, but it was an exhibition sport, right? I think it was an exhibition sport then. Okay, Rondell White.
Oh, that's a great guess.
That's an official guess.
I
I don't
won't
remember if
be
he hit
upset.
left-handed though.
That's a great guess.
Rondell White was a right-handed hitter.
And he definitely didn't have a 5.5 WAR.
Huh?
He
With the
played
Twins?
one time.
Oh, with the
5.5 WAR with the Twins? No.
Did he have one with the Tigers?
He probably did.
I'm down to
but
my
not
last
with the
guess,
Twins.
so I'm
Judd
gonna
has
let
two.
Jack-
Yeah, Judd has two. Declan has not guessed yet. Rondell White had a 5 WAR season with the Expos back in
That was
1987.
yeah. He was a good player.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this random twin, the last 4 home runs he hit in his major league career came off Cliff Lee, John Garland, Joe Blanton, and Brandon McCarthy. His best season, that 5.5 WAR season, he had an 852 OPS with 27 bombs, 85 RBIs, and 96 runs scored. His first career home run
That's not right. Okay.
came off Nelson Cruz, but not that Nelson Cruz.
There was a pitcher.
A different Nelson Cruz who pitched for, I don't know, a handful of teams. That Nelson Cruz was pitching for the Tigers at the time of this first career home run.
Oh my God, dude. 27. It's a great season.
So what were his stats again in that season?
In his best season,
Yep. As a twin. So this
he
is
batted 300
okay.
with an 852 OPS,
Okay.
27 homers, 85 RBIs, 96 runs scored.
Oh boy. It's a really good year. That came as
He played exclusively outfield in his career. Never once played outside of DH. Never once played in the infield. Not even for like an inning or a game.
wow. Cliff Lee. Cliff Lee. Lefty on lefty.
Again, Judd's down to his last
Yeah, I
guess
can't guess.
here.
I can't guess unless I'm sure now.
This random twin, in those 21 career playoff games, not the greatest overall. Only a 200 batting average with a .583 OPS. But he does flip a mean bat, I will say that. When he hits a home run off you, he lets you know about it.
God, I'm totally drawing a blank.
Yeah.
I'm totally drawing a blank.
This random twin played for both Tom Kelly and Ron Gardenhire, but mostly known as a Ron Gardenhire guy. And I'll say he played on the 1996 U.S. Olympic team before he was in the major leagues.
We've done this guy.
1996. Dang, got it.
Well, this is interesting because Dex has not even fired a guess off yet.
Yeah, I know.
And Judd is down to his last guess.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I need Dex to fire a shot on goal at least.
I think his strategy is to let you burn out so he can get a third straight win.
Then that's a good strategy. No, it can't be him.
This random twin did coach a little bit in the major leagues for the Washington Nationals. For sure for the Washington Nationals.
I'm going to check my thing. I think we could use this guy. He didn't have 27 home runs, and he didn't play.
Yep, 2016-17-ish. He was the assistant hitting coach, actually, in 2016 for the Washington Nationals. Into 2017.
I am absolutely. I'm surprised Dex is drawing a blank.
I'm stumped here.
As bad as I am.
The first letter of his first name and last name are the same letter. His name is alliteration personified. This is kind of amazing, actually. Okay. Let's see here. What other obvious clues can I give you guys?
What year did this season happen in? Can you give us that? The 5.5 WAR season.
I mean, it's like pretty narrow range here, I feel like, at this point. But his best season came in 2002. He played for the Twins from 1999 through 2005. They even invited him back in 2010 spring training after his career had kind of, faded. And he did not make the team.
Jock Jones.
There you go. My God. That was painful. I mean, I'm upset I didn't get it, but also my God.
I'm glad it's done. I am glad it's done, and that was a great job, Phil. That was fantastic, but I'm glad it's done.
I feel like maybe I don't know. Maybe I should have gone more obvious earlier.
No, it's okay. No, it's done. It's not your job. No, it's not your job to make it.
Jock Jones.
So
Judd, with his last guess there, correctly gets Jock Jones. Really good, solid Twins player. Just a good, solid.
I forgot. I just totally blocked on him having 27 home runs. So.
Yeah. So, wow, with that, there's your random twin of the week here.
I'm just glad it's done. I'm not joking.
I agree. I'm not. I usually get upset when I miss a guy in my era, and I'm so. It's like an extra inning game. It's like at the 14th.
I'm exhausted.
Don't care.
I'm gonna go sleep on the couch in the clubhouse, get a pot of coffee in the morning, and come back tomorrow and play in the game.
Amazing.
All right, boys.
Amazing.
All right, boys. Scoring our twin show. That's random twin. Free agent targets. Oh God.